Good morning, grade 8s, and welcome to your 6th Reachback answer video. Please make sure you have your questions in front of you as you correct them, and make notes, make little comments to yourself, little highlights of things you're making mistakes on, and hopefully through practice you get better at the things you're not doing well. The first question comes from Chapter 2 on ratios, rates, and proportional reasoning. It says, who had the greater rate of pay, Maddie, who made $24 for 2.5 hours of babysitting, or Zach, who made $33 for 3 hours of babysitting? So the secret to this question is to figure out how much their hourly rate of pay was, or their unit rate. So we're going to break these down into units. We're going to start with Maddie, who made $24 in 2.5 hours. Notice I'm going to use 2.5. So this is her rate of pay, but her unit rate, if I divide both by 2.5, her hourly rate of pay is going to be, and take my $24 and divide it by the 2.5 hours that you worked. That tells me that Maddie made, $9.6 or $9 and insignificant 60 cents in 1 hour, or her rate of pay was $9.60 per hour. Okay? And then if we take Zach, and his rate of pay was $33 for 3 hours, which we don't even need a calculator for, because I can divide both by 3 to get his unit rate of pay, or his 1 hour rate, which is $11 per hour, and therefore Zach had the higher rate of pay. And question 2 from Pythagoras, what is the length of x? So I guess in order for us to see that, I'm going to rotate this. And usually we can see it this way better, but we see the hypotenuse is x, right? If we see it this way, sometimes we get confused as to where the hypotenuse is. But remember, the hypotenuse is always adjacent to the 90-degree angle. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use our formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared, keeping in mind that a and b are the legs of your right triangle. So 7 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared, or 49 plus 25 equals x squared, or 74 equals x squared. Now that we get it this way, in order for us to solve x, we need to square root both sides. The square root of x squared is x. The square root of 74 is going to be probably something like, I don't even know. Let's look. Square root is 8.6. I was going to say 8.5, but 8.6. And we're going to put it approximately. So x is approximately equal to 8.6 meters long. Question 3 from Understanding Percents. Which is more, 5% of $40 or 75% of $3? This is a grade 7 question. So we can do this mentally. 5%, right, is half of 10%, right? And in order to get 10% of a number, we take the decimal, in this case here, and we move it one, we move that, can I grab that? We move it one place over, which means that 10%, or 5%, 10% is $4. So 5% is half of that, or $2. So 5% of $40 is $2. Now 75% we can figure out is 50% plus 25% mentally, right? So 50% is half, so half of $3 is $1.50. And 25% is half of 50%, so half of $1.50 is 75 cents. So if I put those two together, I get $2.25, which is what 75% is. So what is more, 5% of $40 or 75% of 3? The answer, 75% of $3 is, because it's $2.25. Question 4 says, what has more surface area, cube A or rectangular prism B? A lot of people like to do nets, so if I drew the nets, I'm going to do the nets today. I'm not going to do the formula. This cube would have them all the same size, and each of these faces would be 5 times 5, which is 25. So the surface area of the cube is going to be all those added together, which is 150 square meters. And the rectangular prism I was to draw it. The bottom, we'll just make this the bottom right here, is 8 times 3, which is 24, and so is the top. The left and right are 6 by 3, which are 18 and 18. And the front and back, which we'll do in black, the front's here, is 6 by 8, which is 48 and 48. If we add up all those together, let's just see if we can do this here. So 20 and 40 is 60, 120, 120, 130, 140, 140, 144, 148, 156, 164, 172, and 180. So the surface area of the rectangular prism is 180 meters squared. So therefore, the rectangular prism B has more surface area. Question 5, show all work and reasoning. Which is larger? So here, because we're adding, we need a common denominator. The first common denominator we'll choose is 24. When we multiply this out to create the equivalent fraction, it'll be 16 24ths plus 15 24ths, which is 31 24ths, which is equivalent to, since that's improper, 1 and 7 24ths. Okay, that's the first one. The second one, we're going to multiply the numerators and we're going to multiply the denominators. We're going to get 10 24ths, which is larger, 1 and 7 24ths or 10 24ths. Obviously, a number that's greater than 1 is going to be the larger number. Question 6, simplify and rank these in descending order of size. A positive 7 plus a negative 5, I have more positive, therefore it's 2. A positive 7 plus a negative, or take away a negative 5, is the same thing as 7 plus a positive 5, which is 12. To multiply those out, you get negative 35, and divide these. Well, if I think about 7 divided by 5 as an improper fraction, I get 1 and 2/5, and 1 and 2/5 is 1 decimal 4, so therefore this is negative 1 decimal 4. Therefore, what is the largest number? It's going to be 12, right? The next largest number is going to be B. The next largest number is D. And the smallest number is going to be C. Question 7, what's the 8th number in the sequence? So again, the hint was you needed to create a table of values. And in Mondays, we said that the n is going to be the number in the sequence, and the v is going to be its value. So I'm going to say the first number in the sequence, which is right here, is 10. Its value is 10. The second number is 15. The third number is 20. And the fourth number is 25. So now, in order to find the equation that shows the relationship between the number and the value, I could find the coefficient by finding the difference in the v column divided by the difference in the n column. 5 divided by 1 is 5, so therefore the coefficient is 5. Take any ordered pair, in this case 1 and 10, and substitute it. N is 1, v is 10. 5 does not equal 10, so a constant of adding 5 is required. And therefore, multiplying the number in your sequence by 5 and adding 5 will get you the value of the number. So the third number, 20, if I multiply the number 3 by 5, I get 15, and 15 plus 5 is 20. So what does this all mean? Well, if I want to know the 8th number in the sequence, I'm going to substitute 8 for the n, the 8th number, to find its value. 5 times 8 is 40, and 40 plus 5 is 45. So 45 is the value of the 8th number. So the 8th number would be 45. And if I substitute it one more time, this time putting 450 here for the 450th number, 5 times 450 is 2,250 plus 5. I better make sure that's right. 450 times 5. Yeah, I think it's right. Yeah, that's right. Plus 5 is going to be 2,255 equals a value. So therefore, the 450th number is 2,255. Finally, last question, which equation has the largest value of x? So I'm going to solve all four of them right here using opposite operation. So this constant right here of 2, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, leaving me with a negative 5x. A lot of people put positive 5x there, but this negative sign stays with the coefficient, equals negative 22. Divide both sides by the coefficient of negative 5, and x will equal positive 4.4. And how do I know that? I'll just take my calculator out. 22 divided by 5 equals 4.4. And a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So this is going to be x equals 4.4. Here, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. I get 5x, this time it's positive, equals negative 22. Divide by 5, and x will equal negative 4.4. Here, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides to get rid of the constant. And the negative fifth is equal to negative 22. Multiply both sides by negative 5. And x will equal positive 110. And finally over here, I'll move it up a little bit. Subtract 2. Oh, you know what? C and D were the same thing. I should have made this a positive. Oh well. I guess that's what Jacob was telling me before. So the answer is C or D, because they're the same freaking question, has the largest value, 110. Okay. Hopefully you did all right on those. If you're starting to learn a little bit better by being home and minimizing the number of questions and the social distractions you would normally have in a classroom, that's great. Good on you. If you haven't tried the enrichment question, make sure you give it a go. It's listed on your video feed. And stay safe, wash your hands, and as always, make sure your boomer parents don't drive you crazy.